launch control. What's up, everybody? We're in the car, and I'm testing out the old 34 mounts. Man, so I've been driving the car for the last few days, putting miles on it, driving it to work, and now I'm on the freeway. We're not going to do anything crazy, but I am testing, and we're going to get Stav in here too. I want to get his opinion on what these engine mounts feel like. And these are the track billet. They're solid with like a heavy duty is it polyurethane or rubber bushing on the inside of the mount. And we are getting ready for the quarter mile coming up in the next few weeks. And that motor, again, like we said in that install video, was bouncing around everywhere. And we needed something to lock it down. And luckily we were able to purchase these early to test them. This is one of their revisions. I know it's not going to be their final one, but they said, hey, if you can break these, then we got a serious problem. So we are putting these to the test to the best of our ability. And the shifts are so crisp. So let me start off by saying that there is an added bit of vibration. Obviously with track billet mounts, there's gonna be. But if any of you guys complain like I did about the RS3 feeling, I don't know how to say this, soft because it's so new, the shifting felt weird because there was so much play. But you know, the reason why we love the older Audis is because there's a more mechanical, raw feel to them. You know, the newer cars are just too refined, and that goes to the credit of Audi and the engineers behind the RS3 and the other RS models, the R8, whatever the case may be. They really built a beautiful product, so you don't really feel the really track performance I think they puts out. But you know, as amount as quarter mile racing that we do, half mile, you know, that's part of the experience, is building something that's an absolute monster. And we are planning to build the motor and trans on this car later this year. So these mounts from 034 Motorsports, I keep saying 034, I apologize, they really lock things down. The shifts, you don't feel a hiccup in the trans, you don't feel any shaking, and there's no slingshot feeling like you do on the stock engine mounts, as when it's building up boost, as it's kind of stretching the rubber on those mounts. And again, we'll show you a quick clip of what those factory mounts and how easy they are to manipulate. I don't know if they're all like that brand new. I haven't had a set brand new in my hands, but after a year of drag racing, those things were like jello all over the place. But the car feels more grounded, the car feels more raw, and rightfully so. It's an RS3. It's taking over the industry right now when it comes to cars that can go 9s with bolt-ons on a stock engine and stock transmission. Cars that can go 170 plus. Well, it depends on who you go with. If you go with Irish Motorsports custom code, yeah, hybrid turbocharged, big turbocharged, you're gonna see 170 plus in the half mile. And that's possible with a stock engine and stock transmission, and that's the beautiful part of it. So 034 Motorsports knew that that the stock engine mounts, having so much experience with the older MQB, Jettas, Golfs, A3s, S3s, it left a lot wanting, especially on the table in terms of the factory engine mounts. So they said, you know what, we're gonna make some billet engine mounts for the RS3, and I won't lie to you, the car just comes alive. And I won't lie, hey, let's be real, the exhaust sounds different too for some strange reason. I have no idea. I don't know if it has to do it acting like a tuning fork now, being solid mounted to the chassis, but everything feels more raw. It's a more visceral feeling. It's a more visceral feeling driving this car. Like I can't even put it into words. Amazing, great. Are those really adequate words to give a car that's going 9 seconds in the quarter mile, that can go 180 in the rolling half? I don't think it is. The car just truly feels unleashed now with the solid engine mounts, and we have the solid trans mount too. We have their dog bound mount kit with the upper insert. We've been running that for the last couple months. Maybe on a future episode we'll take it out and see how it's doing. You know, the early revisions that they released, they had some issues with just the insert alone. The lower insert was just bending, and I'll show you some of the examples of that. You know, they contacted us, said they had a new design out. They said they have an upper insert that's going to help stabilize everything, still allowing for some movement so you don't break anything, but locking everything down. And we put it in, and the car just absolutely feels transformed. So the dog bone mount together with the engine mounts now from 034 just feels perfect. Now, for the average guy, or or woman who doesn't like a little extra vibration, track feeling under normal driving, these track mounts may not be for you. You may want to go for their density mounts that are coming up, that are much softer, that offer more daily driven, everyday feeling, and we'll get a set of those too, and we'll test them for you if you want to wait for those. But we needed something for the track. We're heading to the quarter mile in the next few weeks. We're going back to the half. Really want to hit 177, 178, kind of turning up the boost as much as we can and really sending it as best as we can without popping the motor. So for those of you guys wondering if these 034 Motorsports are worth it, driving every day, it's completely tolerable. It feels great. Again, if you bought the RS3 or the TTRS for a visceral experience, this enhances that experience. As you notice, my jaw isn't shaking as I'm driving. I still feel good. I am sitting in a racing Kirky seat. I don't even have the factory seats on, and I could drive like this every day. So if you have factory seats, if your RS3 is normally just factory setup with some basic mods and you want to lock things down to give that extra feel, stop that engine slop, keep the power going to the grounds instead of moving all over the place, either way, these mounts are probably something you're going to want to pick up. Let's kick it back. Let's go back over to Stav. I'm going to up the boost a little bit for him to kind of scare she hasn't driven the car in a very long time. And with solid mounts, it's going to completely change how the car feels. So let's up the boost a little bit. I'm going to put it up to about 29, 30 pounds. Usually we're on about... And let's have him go out there, launch the car, have some fun, and give you his review. All right, guys? Let's kick it over to Stav real quick.
All right, guys. So I'm doing the 034 Motorsport review on the motor mounts. My initial reaction, I've only driven it about a few blocks right now, is the car feels extremely solid. Usually when you're on the throttle and then off the throttle, you'd feel like kind of like in a manual, and you definitely feel the on and off throttle. But this car so far, I haven't like got on it yet, but it feels really, really solid. So I mean, we're about to go driving a little bit. George told me to beat on the car and see if what my honest review is. I know he drove it a little bit earlier, and he wouldn't tell me if he liked it or he didn't. He just said, go review it, and what's the name? You'll see it in the video. So this is my honest, reaction. So let's see what it does. So I'm just driving around town right now to get the feel for it. But even when this car was like stage 2, I mean, you would just feel the mounts, the factory mounts moving around. And with this setup right now, I know they're brand new, and people are going to say, oh, they're brand new, wait till they break in, and we're going to be doing some long-term testing, but initially it feels great. And even though there's 034 said these are supposed to be stiffer and you'll feel a slightly more vibration in the steering wheel because these are very strong mounts, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't feel it. So I mean, maybe that's a good thing. So I mean, we're about to we get some open space here in Mexico. We'll see how it feels at full throttle. Wow. So I just got on it and I hit 56 miles an hour, and still motor feels solid. Motor's not moving at all. Usually when you get off the throttle off the like when you're decelerating, you would feel like a jerkiness, and I feel planted in the seat. It feels, these motor mounts are awesome. I mean, this is just an initial test. Obviously we're going to be doing long-term testing with some of the drag racing and even road course racing we have planned this year, and of course daily driving, which is what this car does literally every day. So we'll be able to give you a long-term feedback also, but initial feel, these mounts are awesome. Alright guys, so my honest reviews, I haven't done a launch yet. I've been driving this car for about 45 minutes in the canyons and all the twists and turns. The motor is really locked down now. It feels better than it did when it was stock, 1000%. But the only thing I still haven't noticed is this upgraded vibration, which I still don't feel in the steering wheel. I mean, I feel a slight vibration, but it could also be from the exhaust. But honestly, there's no like annoyance in my hands, like, oh, this motor, because usually when you have like upgraded solid mounts like we have in the B5, they tend to vibrate off low takeoff, and I'm not seeing that here with these mounts at all. I just feel like the motor is literally so locked down now, you don't feel it cranking around back and forth. It sounds like it was about to come out of the car before. It feels solid. So yeah, I definitely recommend these mounts 100%. Of course, this is just initial review. We will be doing long-term testing, obviously, and seeing how well they hold up, and in 10,000 miles, 5,000 miles, we will be doing updates along the way to see how long these motor mounts feel this way. Maybe they will stay forever. Maybe 1,000 miles from now they rip out of the car. You never know. This is kind of why we're testing them at this power level, because if we don't break them, hopefully you guys don't. That's kind of what we're doing here. All right. Coming up on a spot over here. Thank you. Some girl goes, she's like, do you want to race? And I pretend like I didn't hear her at first, because she was actually not talking to me. She was talking to her friend, and then she screamed over, that's a really nice, oh, it's silver? Some women have bad taste. What do you want me to tell you? See, you put the 034 motor mounts in your car, the IMS 850 kit, the Malaka MotorSports throttle body inlet kit. The girl can't even see any of this, but she says it's a really nice car. That's what she said, because it had nothing to do with the car being silver. I just thought about it. Yeah. Switch the car in S mode. Take traction control completely off, because we're professional drivers. All right. Launch control. But absolutely felt nothing in the steering wheel. Usually, and I wish I could do a comparison video, but you'd feel the steering wheel kind of like shaking and shimmering and doing all kinds of movement that you really don't want to feel when you're doing 55 plus. But now it's completely locked down. George did say to beat the crap out of this thing, so one more thing, one more lunch. I guess. I mean, we are testing it. We have to test the car. All right. Traction control still off because I'm a great driver. Oh, actually, I'm not. Guys, that's the end of my review. Goddamn tire pressure light. Pirelli, make a better tire. I'm sorry that I spun them that much. But yeah, guys, to the next one. Later, Malakas.